glad y'all tuned in. We about to get this show started. Yeah. Dr. Clyde Winners and Yoshi. Yeah. Then and now. We talking about back in the day and right now. Yeah.
Now let's introduce Yoshima the Genius and Dr. Clyde Winters, the godfather of research.
Whoa.
What up, though? What up, though? Where, Yoshima?
Clyde Winners.
Where the genius?
Clyde Winners. What?
Yes, sir. So what's going on, Captain?
Man, I'm all right. What it do? From
Man.
H time to C time. What's up? Shot time.
And we had some beautiful weather, man. It's been warm up here. It's been feeling like the springtime. I'm scared as hell, though.
Why is that?
Well, because whenever we had these warm days, sometimes eventually maybe we might get 4 or 5 inches of snow.
JP in the house.
And I'll be be locked in.
Again, 5 inches of. Man, last time I talked to you, you said you was going through. You don't want to go through that 5 inches. Of
oh no, man! I don't like being locked up.
No.
I don't like being locked up. I like to be on the move.
Sled. You get your sled out.
I wish I was back in the day where I could get that sled.
On some Charlie Brown.
Yes, yeah. I'd love to do that, man.
That's what's up. You seen that Cat Williams and Joe Rogan?
Oh yeah, he was talking metaphysics with that guy, man. He
yeah.
What
you think on that? What you think about him doing that? And then what they said, Joe Rogan hit him with a why black people like menthol.
Yeah. Well, it was more than that. It was just that Joe Rogan, he's supposed to be an intellectual, but then Cat Williams, man, he's just a true black intellectual. We don't have too many of them and he remember he was a genius, even when he was a kid. Remember, he had a high IQ, ran away. He left home when he was about 12 to 14, something like that.
Yeah,
went out to Florida, hooked up with the street people, survived. Now he's a multimillionaire, help other people make money. I love it, man. But he was talking stuff, man. He was bringing up the fact in the sense about the Egyptians and bringing up in a sense how everybody's a stupid slave unless they come from that community. They could build a pyramid, and they could, even though they were slaves, they were smart. But when you African American, Foundation Black American, you're supposed to be dumb through the slave experience. So it was deep. It was deep.
That is deep, man.
Yeah,
I seen that. He had some great points. He touched a lot of things about, like you said, metaphysics. It was just interesting, to hear him go from one subject on one end, and then on this one he went straight left field, straight physics. That was something different.
Well, the thing is that he's well read, man. And when you think about the fact that he can read those books and he read books fast, he's a speed reader, and so then he's very well informed.
So he's showing us the importance of reading books.
Right.
What's up, Jesse? What's happening? What's up, Rhonda Lewis? What's up? He's still showing us the importance of why we need to read books, why it's good to read books, and to keep our minds active when, out in whatever career that we're working with. Brother say he'll sit at home and read 200 pages in an hour or so, because he reads so much that he speed read now, he run through it. So I can see that, but yeah.
Yeah, CRU Roadie. What up, though?
I
Grant
see, I
niggas.
see. What's up? What's up? What's up? Yo, she mic is low. All right, let me put it up.
I don't
Put
know.
it.
It's sound pretty good to me, but I'm,
Yo.
I got old ears. They may not be ready. But the thing is this though, is that it's very important to move in that direction because see, so many people hate reading. I grew up and I love reading.
Mm-hmm.
I know given your abilities in terms of how you're taking this technology and you're mastering it, man. I mean all the things that you can do. You always fascinate me in terms of how you're able to take this technology and then make it work for you. And
Yes.
that's deep.
Yes. It's reading the technology and knowing what prompts to put in, knowing what you want, and knowing how to duplicate that and keep that prompt going and have that AI work for you. I appreciate it, Jesse. Good looking out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, Joe, she is so talented.
I'm
You got that
trying,
right.
man. I'm doing all this stuff
But
on the
but
back end, man.
but I think it's more than that, and I think that it's more than that, and the reason I think it's more than that is because the fact is that you have a gift, man. I mean, remember, it's people who go every day. They're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. Do you know what I'm saying? They're
Mm-hmm.
spending hundreds of thousands of dollars going to universities around this country trying to learn that skill, and you're able to master it, without having any instructors. So
That's
that
that
that that's
FBA, baby. That's that.
that ain't FBA, man. That's the metaphysical. That's drawing on the ancestors, man. How
That's
you do
true.
it?
That's
That's
true.
drawing
You
on the
you
ancestors.
you absolutely right because I do meditate a lot. It takes a lot of meditation. It takes a lot of focus. It takes a lot of trusting your ancestors. So I listen to my gut feeling a lot. And if something don't click with me, I don't waste time with it. I move on, move on, move on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, Dr. Winters. Yes. Yeah, he making them thumbnails. Yeah, Dr. Winters.
I don't know. My
I'm
thumbnails
seeing
can
them, man. Hey, man.
my thumbnails can never match yours, man.
Nah, forget that. I seen yours. I'm like, golly, the prompt that he's writing. Me and you need to get together. All right, so they coming out, guys, with a new app and this or the program, and this program is taking AI by storm. So it's gonna allow people to pretty much put a prompt in and it's going to generate full videos, like 15-minute videos. This is like out of this world. So a lot of people is kind of tripping on it because it's going to take AI to the next level because we already have a lot of software that is, you can type the prompt in and it'll create a video, but the videos all look funky. This one right here is, man, this sucker is taking the videos and making them look actually realistic. So there's supposed to be a Terminator movie that they did with a whole AI Terminator movie.
Mhm.
What's up, y'all? Hey, and
Bias
it's
Boxing Elite,
crazy,
what up?
man. Hey, what's up, cool dude?
Who
What's
do?
up, boxing? What's up, elite only? Peace, peace, peace. So
Cool
yeah,
dude, cool dude is up in New York, man. He's working with the
okay.
kids.
Mm.
We should have put him in that classroom. Put him on a skateboard too. I love
Absolutely,
that. I love that.
yeah.
I love that thumbnail, man. I love
Yeah,
that
in that
thumbnail.
classroom, man. Yeah.
What's
Hey,
up,
but
John
look,
Star?
AI would get that picture and off that prompt I created. I did a lot of prompts to create that, as you know. But putting it together, it can create a little mini series with that, the little kids in a classroom. So that's what we're looking at now as far as the creativity with AI. Right now, to generate videos, it's a lot of work. It's tedious. It's boxes that you got to connect. It's a lot of connect the dot,
You
connect
know,
the dot. Yeah, it's tedious, man. But
you
I'm
know,
learning.
family. This is the genius Yoshimar. This man, no, this man is at the epicenter of AI. I'm telling you guys right now that those of you who are interested in learning more, You should, you know, you
Man,
got
yes.
Yoshimod's, you got
Yes.
Yoshimod's email. You know, contact
Times
him,
five. What's up?
contact Yoshimod, and I'm quite
Straight
sure
up.
he'll you know, give you you know, maybe set up a class to
Straight up.
maybe learn some of the basics
Yes. Yes.
of you know, Chat GPT
We can
4.
make it easy. We can.
Right.
It's all about simplification. It's all about simplification. So to break down something complex and to understand it, because that's what I do. I study it. I study the program. That way, when I regurgitate it back to you, I can teach it as if I'm talking to a toddler, you know. And if you can
That's
get a
what you got to
toddler to
do.
understand, yeah, because if you can have a toddler to understand it, that means you understand it fully. You know, I was taught that if you can't break whatever it is you learn that is complex down to a child, then for a child to understand it, then you haven't actually mastered whatever it is you're doing, and you don't fully understand it. Because when you fully understand stuff, you can be like, hey, sit right here. Engineers in the studio, bringing kids in the studio, here, sit right here. Yeah, do that. Yeah, press that.
Yeah, but
Yeah, see what they do. Yeah,
everybody just can't absorb that stuff, man. And again,
right.
family, you know, we'll you know, why don't you put in the chat your email, and you know, if enough people contact Yoshi, I'm quite sure that he'll set up a class and give you some
Yeah.
basic because see, the hardest thing about Chat GPT is the prompting. The prompting. You know, when you can
That's
learn
that
how to
prompt.
do the right prompting, you can make the great pictures. And again,
Consistent.
yeah. So you guys check this email email address out, and you guys, if you're interested, let him
Putting it
know.
in
You
there
know, how
right
you
now.
doing, Karen Vincent? Let him know, and I'm quite sure that he'll. You know, maybe you couldn't get right into the you know right into making the videos, but you know, maybe Yoshi might want to start a basic course, and then the second course a little bit be more advanced. And the thing is, this is that you got this opportunity. You got this opportunity to work with the genius. You got this opportunity to work with somebody who can shed a little light on things that for most of us we're in complete darkness. My eyes are open up my eyes. What happened?
Hey, that's
What happened?
funny.
Y'all see, open up
Hey,
my eyes.
that's funny though,
Oh,
cause hey,
oh.
I get a lot of people telling me I need to be an IT tech, and I'm like, you know, what I do is natural, and I
Yeah.
don't know that I do it so natural that people see the significance in it, and they're like, hey man, why don't you do this? You need to get a hold of that and do that, and I'm like, I could do that. I could do that. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
make that happen. Yeah, but this right here. Yeah, get with me, guys. If y'all want to learn how to do anything in AI, as far as generating pictures, making the pictures move, creating a storybook, putting a storybook together, generating the prompts to create the storybook. Um, yeah. If you don't have the vocabulary to do it all, and that's just look, simplification. You know, I'm not gonna deal with any fancy words. Is hey, click on this, click on that. We gotta know what this picture do, know what that picture do. You know, we get familiar with the programs through visuals, and a lot of the programs that I deal with are self-explanatory, and they do look very intimidating when you first check them out. But once you break it down and tame the beast, easy. You'll make that thing do so many tricks. We're taming the beast. So that I look at it like we're learning how actually AI is learning from us, and we're teaching AI how to program itself so it can be a better version of us.
But you know,
But yeah.
like Tones Five say, it's the jargon, man. You got to know the words.
Mm-hmm.
You got to know how to construct them. You got to know how to communicate to the AI to be
You
able to really
gotta know.
get something out of it. But anyway, let's you know, we'll kind of move on. Is that we got an interesting topic today, and I love that. I love that thumbnail. It made me think about back in the day. It made me think about back in the day. I wish I could have been in the classroom going on a skateboard. You in there with your ninja uniform, about to get into some trouble,
I
baby.
know,
The
right? Get into some
classroom, the
trouble, man.
classroom, the classroom. Because see, if you
Hey.
remember our family, we over the past couple of years, we've had some interesting videos. I remember back a few years ago when they were showing these videos of teachers getting beat up in the classroom. I mean,
Right. I
those were a
remember
clip.
that. That was bad, man. That
It
was
was
before
bad.
they had officers in the classroom.
Well, they could have had them in the school, man, but it take a while for them to get up there. Like I remember one day this kid told me, he said, Dr. Winters, he said, what would you do if I came up there and hit you? I said, I wouldn't do nothing except by the time you got up here, I slam your head up against the board and I hit you 6, 7, 8 times before you hit the damn floor.
I know
And
that
I
right.
goes, and then
Feeling that ass.
yes, sir. But then I had to think about what Cam Newton was talking about is that,
Hmm.
you in trouble if you do something like that.
Yeah,
You're
you
in
will.
trouble.
Yeah, you will get in trouble, especially nowadays. You do, and they got these phones in their pocket. So, when we talk about cameras in the classroom, not only are we talking about surveillance, but it can go another way as well because there are cameras in the classroom. The kids and their phones. A lot of these kids are carrying phones, and these teachers are getting caught 24/7 doing some off the wall stuff. And these kids are taking pictures of it. They're documenting it and they're putting it on the channel news. They're sending it to the channel news, and it's making full coverage, man. What you think about that, man?
Well, it's kind of complicated because when I
Hmm.
was teaching, man, the
Yeah,
kids.
it wasn't no cameras.
Oh,
It
yes, it
wasn't no.
was. Remember, I didn't retire to 2016, so kids
Okay,
was
all right.
coming
So
in with
2016. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So in 2016 they were still bringing their cameras,
Okay.
and but then I've had different experiences because you know it when I was teaching at my school that I retired from,
Mm-hmm.
then if the kids brought them in, you would just ask them to turn them off because you know that remember that white guy who shot up the school. Remember he was in class ordering bullets. remember
Wow.
remember last year the guy up in Michigan, his mom was just found guilty, second-degree murder because they didn't take him out of school when they called him up to school, and the teachers told her that he had been in the classroom on his phone ordering
Ordering
bullets,
bullets. This
and they
dude in class ordering bullets. Come
and
on.
they did not take him out, and so now she's going to jail,
Mm,
and then her husband, he's going to go on trial next,
mm.
and so then what I would do
Nasty.
in my classroom, I would ask the kids, to turn them off, because if they put them in the locker, somebody gonna steal them,
Mm-hmm.
so they can't put them in the locker, and and since they can't put them in the locker, you got to let them bring them in the classroom. But then you might tell them, turn it off and put it in your book bag,
Okay.
and and hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but then in 2019, I got into a little situation where I had to go back to work. So I was teaching out in Country Club Hills. I started teaching in the suburbs,
Mm-hmm.
because in the city, in Chicago, you can only make X so much money if you're a retired teacher, because your money, your salary, it still goes to the teacher's pension fund. So in Chicago, you can only work a certain number of hours. So I was teaching out in the suburbs. In Country Club Hills, what we used to do there is that you would collect the phones and put them on your desk.
Mm,
The kids who would give them to you. Some of them
mm,
probably still kept them in their pockets
mm.
because you had to admit that sometimes when you're doing good, you wish it was a camera in the classroom. Other times you don't wish it. Did you want to begin your presentation, or you wanted to wait?
Yeah, yeah. Let's get it in. Let's get it in.
Okay, all right, family.
Cameras in the classroom, y'all. Then and now. Let's go to the next one, y'all. So yeah, that's cameras in the classroom. Right, right, right. Look at Dr. Clyde Winters
Woo,
now, man. Look at
woo,
that dude,
woo, baby,
man. I can't
woo.
believe that dude, man. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Hey, why cameras in the classroom is a bad idea and why is a great idea. So that's what we're going to learn today. Why is it good and why is it bad? Let's go to the next. All right. So, hey, why cameras are wrong, stress and anxiety. If students and teachers know they're being recorded all the time, it can make them feel stressed and worried. This can make it harder for the students to learn and teachers to teach well. What y'all think about that? Y'all think that's true? You think that if a camera was in a classroom, that it'll cause stress and anxiety to teachers and students? I
well,
don't know.
it wouldn't cause me any stress and
That's
anxiety.
what I'm saying. I mean, why would it
'Cause
cause you stress and anxiety?
that's
You
right. You
know,
know,
all right.
the only thing is that you would kind of try to be on your P's and Q's.
There
Maybe
you
you wouldn't
go.
cuss. You know,
There
maybe
you
I
go.
wouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, well, you know, if you think that that's the only thing that's gonna slip up, but if you a dirty teacher, you know, then I can see the teacher doing some other stuff. You know, let's go to the next slide, man. So stress and anxiety. That's out of there, Dr. Clyde. I mean, I don't know, man. Kids tripping. If a camera watching them, I think they'll straighten up and act right, you know, for the most part.
They would.
No, I think it would, but hey. Impact on teaching and learning. If there was cameras watching, teachers might change how they teach, and students might not want to share their ideas and ask questions. This can make learning less fun and interactive. Y'all think that's true, guys?
I believe it depends on the teacher. A lot
That's on
depends
the
on the
teacher.
teacher
Yeah, that's
because
on the teacher.
see a lot of teachers they don't like it. They don't like nobody to ask them questions anyway because that makes them have to put in work. You know, that's one of the reasons why you find a lot of women teachers have trouble teaching black boys. You know, FBA boys because a lot of
That's
times the
why.
boys will ask you questions,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times you know, and they'll be kind of acting kind of aggressive. You know, but
Mm.
when you grew up in the hood, you know, if they acting aggressive, you don't even pay attention to that mess. But then if you're a female, you might feel, oh, this kid is trying to intimidate me when he just might be selling some wolf tickets. But
Ooh.
oh
What
yes,
Craig
because
so far say?
yeah, because the thing is, this is that some kids, some remember, it's always a guy in the classroom, the gangbanger, whatever. The gangbanging chief, he always be quiet in the classroom. He be quiet, but the kids already told you he the chief, so you know he the chief. He be quiet in the
That's the
classroom.
ringleader, huh?
Right, right. But I think also, Yoshi,
The
you're
mastermind.
you're absolutely right that it can in a sense be it can influence how kids react, but I think a lot depends on the teacher, how that teacher in a sense, you know, can get kids to cooperate and participate. Because remember, if you remember when you was in school, Yoshi, the teacher be looking for anybody to move. If you move, you know,
Yes.
it's like at an auction. If you move your
Yes.
eyebrow, oh, okay,
Move.
what Yoshi?
Yes. Anybody move? Yeah, she'll make you move.
You got to answer the question. So
You gotta answer the question. Yeah, make you move, make you get up and answer something. Yeah, interact. So, all right. So with that said, how it impacts the learning and the teaching, you know. So, you think that if we was to replace teachers with a AI screen,
mhm.
would the kids not interact as much as you think they would with a real life teacher?
I don't know. They might be with a lot of kids being on screen a lot. Some of them might be interactive, but you know your problem is going to come with your boys because a lot of times the fellas going to try to find a way to get out of it. The fellas a lot of times are going to be a little uncooperative. You know, you find that girls are going to be more girls. Okay, girls can use both sides of their brain at the same
Right,
time.
right.
And as a result, it says they may be more cooperative and they may be more interactive. But I think in a sense that that's the direction it's going in. I mean, they're going to fire most of the teachers anyway in the future. That's one of the
Yeah,
reasons why I try to keep up with
yeah.
keep up with what's going on. But
That's
you
why
know
I
what I
say that.
found?
Yeah, that's why I say that.
Can I tell you how they had this in my school?
Mm-hmm.
In my school, you could see, and you could see in the office. You could see in the office. Now this is crazy to me. You could see in the office, people coming into the building through the entrance. But let me explain to you, Yoshi, they had a camera. They had a camera in the hallways, and the cameras in the hallways was always recording. But we couldn't see that, but they could see what was going on in the school, in the hallways downtown. Isn't that crazy?
Mm.
Yeah, you couldn't have access to those cameras in the hallway via the school, but they could see that they could see what was going on in your school downtown. That's
But they
crazy.
can see you. Wow. But you don't have no access to it at all.
No, no access to it. It wasn't in the classroom, only in the hallways.
Can you uh, speak on what Create so far? Put up in the comments. You put some in the message.
Okay, yeah, we can
What should say? What to say? Speaking on stress, I wish they had a camera in my third grade class. The racist white teacher flung erasers full of chalk dust at fellow students was a disgrace and to the profession of education. Yeah, that sucks. God dang.
yeah, you can get a little bit too frustrating. I see, it's just like they had this white guy last week. He was a substitute teacher, and one
Mm.
of the kids blacked his eye.
Mm.
And he said the guy was 6 foot tall. 6 foot tall, 6 7 foot tall or something like that. So it's
That's supposed to be the
complicated.
excuse. What
You
just
know,
see you talking about?
even saying
What?
he says when we taught on Zoom, teachers didn't even care, super careless, but saw in real time parents were paying attention. That may have been your
Mm.
situation. I
Mm.
taught on Zoom. I was teaching at a different school. I was teaching at this school in Calumet City, and when we had on Zoom, all the kids had when they first would come to class, all the kids would have to be on camera. So we at least had to see them on camera.
Mm.
And
Right.
so that meant the boys, the girls, everybody had to be on camera.
Right. Right.
So then, therefore, the parents could see maybe see if you were a bad teacher, maybe in a sense. But I think that one of the things about teaching kids on Zoom, I think that a lot of teachers, most teachers, wasn't prepared for that. During the pandemic.
The pandemic. Put the slide back up.
Okay.
Let's see. Go to the next one. Yeah, because Rhonda Lewis said teachers who love the subject they teach tend to hold students' attention. That's true. And when they don't like the subject and when they're just teaching just because they just got caught into it, I think some of the times a lot of teachers that go into it with a passion and lose their passion is because they probably are not teaching the curriculum that they want to teach sometime. And
Sometimes.
in other cases, and they just lose their passion because it can be students bringing on trauma to them. Because I have seen jolly teachers break down. My son break down a very happy teacher. This lady was like rainbows and sunshine and daisies, and my son made that woman break down and cry, boy, and she wasn't the same ever since. But I can see that happening. But chilling effect on creativity and expression. When students know they're always being watched, they may feel free to be creative or express themselves. They might hold back on sharing unique ideas or trying new things.
Hmm.
What you think?
that would be interesting. But what I found in a sense is that it all depends on the situation. When you're at a school where the parents participate,
Mm-hmm.
and when you're in a school where the parents are always there, then you can get kids to be creative in no matter what environment they're in. Because the
Right.
fact is this is that you can always say, okay, I'm gonna call your mama. Your mama got to go to work. That's gonna hurt you, especially around Christmas time. You
Mm-hmm.
can say,
Oh, you can use all that against them. Birthdays and Christmas, right?
oh yeah, you can say your mama ain't gonna be able to get that present. She had to come. But then, but then when you're teaching where a lot of kids don't really want, where there's a lot of gang banging, a lot of kids don't want to really cooperate. You have to be a little bit more different, and at the same time, because see, you find in a sense that there's always those kids who want to stir up trouble so that the class won't learn.
Oh yeah. Oh
They
yeah.
want to get
You'll get a lot of that. Yeah.
that you want to get off your cuff. But see, also I wanted to say that in teaching is two different ways to teach. When you're teaching high school, you can be very communicative. You can be very what I call cognitive. What I mean by cognitive is that you can try to get people to think when you're in high school. Okay, if you're teaching elementary school, you can't spend too much time talking because if you spend too much time talking or lecturing, the kids are going to just stop paying attention and then they're going to start doing what they want to do. So you got to make things. You got to have more activities for kids in elementary school.
Yes. Yes. And
Yeah,
keep them interactive. Yeah.
yeah. Keep them moving.
Entertain.
Keep them
Yes.
moving.
Yes.
And see, but then you find that there's differences. For example, I used to always in my educational psychology class explain in a sense that uh that that your best students are Latinos and Asians. That have if they haven't been polluted. If they've grown up in America, is different. But most of the time, you're going to find that Asians are very cooperative. They kind of do what they're told. You'll find in a sense that black kids, they like to be put in groups, but white kids do not like to be put in groups. If you put the average white kid in a group, he'll do that. He or she will do that group project, but then they're going to do a project on their own. they got
Mm.
they're going to want to do an additional project. So each kid brings his own psychology to the classroom. But the most important thing to understand is that with black children, you have to, in a sense, want to touch them. I didn't say touch them physically, but you have to touch them in a sense mentally.
That's true.
Sometimes,
That's
go
true.
ahead.
You're right about that. My son was the same way. If you can't sit down with him 101 and you not showing no interest in him learning, he wouldn't learn versus if you show interest in him learning and sit down with him, he'll do the work. Boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
boom. And versus just sitting there and not doing it.
Well, see, what you
Not
have to do is
interacting.
that because of the fact that you got at least 20, 25 kids in the classroom, it's very hard to do one on one. But
Mm,
what you do is that when you have them doing seat work, when you have them doing seat work, the teacher shouldn't sit down. The teacher should get up and the teacher should move around the classroom. And as they move around the classroom, they should stop at students' desks. What are you doing? How you doing? How you coming along? Maybe touch them on the shoulder. Hey, that was great.
right,
Hey,
right.
that's
That's
great
that
work.
stuff is
You
tight,
know,
man.
that's great work. I like what
Mm-hmm.
you're doing. Then
I
you
know
just
that.
move around, and so then the point is this is that you're in a way you're giving them that one on one, but you're not taking up the whole class. See, that's where
True.
the problem comes in is that you can't always give every kid one on one instruction. Now, when you're teaching special ed, you're supposed to do that. But when you have a classroom, when they're doing their seat work, you should move around the class and communicate with the kids one at a time. Don't talk too much because, as I said, in elementary school, if you talk too much, the kids aren't going to do their work. They ain't going to do wish.
True.
That's why teachers who want to lecture, after a while, they lose control of the class because the class is off topic. And when they get off topic, it's hard to bring them back. Very hard.
Go to the next one.
Okay.
They say misuse. Where you at?
Mining
Undermining
trust.
trust. Okay. Undermining trust. All right, all right. Cameras in the classroom can make students and teachers feel less trustful of each other. Trust is really important for learning well, and if it's missing, everyone might feel more suspicious or on the edge. What about that? You lose trust. Why would you think somebody would lose trust if cameras was in the classroom?
I think the kids, in a sense, they would lose a little trust. I think the average teacher, they would be very happy. They wouldn't mind their class being a camera in there because
So, but let's look at if the camera was already in the classroom, and let's say this has been going on for 5 years already in
uh,
every public school. Do
yeah,
you think that the trust fact? I think that a lot of these concerns are at the beginning, because at the beginning nobody liked to be filmed or have surveillance on them. But just like anything, you kind of, just like an actor, you get used to it. You're like, all right, the
yeah.
camera right there, I just ain't gonna look at it. All right, let me do this. Da, 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 da. What you
Yeah,
think?
that's true. But a lot of times, as a teacher, sometimes you wish it was a camera in the classroom. Especially when kids lie on you.
Mm-hmm.
Kids can make up lies on you and stuff.
The
You know
police got cameras on them.
what's that?
The police wear a body cam now.
That's right. But then
They
they
don't
turn them.
like it.
That's right. But they turn them off when they get ready to hit some beat
Right,
somebody.
right.
Ah. But see, as a teacher, in a sense, it would be kind of very difficult because a lot of times you'll be wanting to say, "See, Miss Mary, see what Johnny was doing, see what he's doing over there." I mean, damn, you'd have people up to school all the time, but it would
Let me
make
look at this camera. Let me
right.
look at the footage. Yeah, well,
But see,
why in that?
but then but then we get back to that issue of trust.
Hmm.
Yoshi, in terms of teaching and trust, is very difficult
Okay.
because see, it's every classroom has its own every school has a culture. Every school has a culture. Every classroom has a culture. What do I mean by that is that the teacher determines the culture in the classroom. For
Okay.
example, when I was teaching sixth grade, the fifth grade teacher, he used to want to wrestle around with the kids and want to fight them. So if they would have had a camera in this classroom, he would have been fired and stuff. But see, but the whole point is that he didn't want to get the kids any agency. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
He didn't want to get the kids any agency. Whereas me, on the other hand, I wanted my students, when I was teaching sixth grade, I wanted them to be like me. I used to like to do presentations, so every year I would have my students would have to participate in the history fair, the
Hmm.
citywide history fair. So I would teach them how to do presentations. They'd had to come up to the board. They had to speak, and so some of them wouldn't like it, but a lot of my kids really became outgoing. Really
Hmm.
became outgoing. So it was it's the teacher who establishes the feelings of trust in the classroom.
It's the
And I
teacher. Yes.
right. And I think that if the teacher can have the kids
It's on
begin to
both
trust
sides.
them, it
Both
doesn't
sides.
matter if it's a camera in there or not. You know, because see,
Right. So it doesn't matter if there's a camera or not, as far as if they feeling, because like they said in this, if you feeling suspicious or feeling on edge, the trust, because like you said, it is a major thing for a teacher to gain the trust with the students, and I
yeah,
know that's a hard thing to do because a lot of kids is stubborn. A lot of kids want to do what they want to do. So to gain that trust, yeah, yeah, it's breaking that
yeah,
ice, huh?
yeah. It's kind of difficult because just like when I like we had a branch. When I taught at the branch, it was different than teaching at the big house. I call it the big house.
Hmm.
That's where all the kids were that came from what was called the Roseland area. A lot of game bangers. Now at the branch, so that was it was smaller classrooms. We only had one first grade, second, third grade, fourth grade, sixth grade. So our man would have got in trouble because see, when kids would want to, I would always tell my kids, I said that If you fight in the classroom, if you fight in the classroom, in a sense, I'll take my time to break it up. And so once you get some kids fighting, and then you just walk as slow as you can, then all of a sudden they're looking at you. Where you at? Where you at? You know. And then they learn in the sense that they fight. I'm not going to run over there and try to break it up. So you're going to be stuck in a fight. And then and then since the principal was in the other building, and some
Yeah.
kids wanted to fight, some kids wanted to fight in my class. You know, they when we go to lunch, I'd take them outside. I could take them out take them out the side door. Said, okay, now y'all can fight.
Oh wow.
Do you think it was any fights?
No.
No, because
Because they
kids always,
bumping. They talking.
yeah, and they always want some. They expect you to break it up.
Attention. Yeah, they want that attention from you to stop everything, break stuff up. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
But I learned early, man, that that's how you can get hurt trying to break up their
yeah. I
fights.
know that's right. You would get hit.
Yeah, some of them
Yeah.
kids big as hell, man. You know.
Go to the next one.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Potential misuse of the footage. All right, Dr. Clyde Winter. So we're looking at if you was to record in the classroom, there'd be potential misuse of the footage. There's a worry that some of the videos from the cameras might be watched by wrong people and used the wrong way. Sometimes what happens in a classroom could be misunderstood or taken out of content.
Now that's absolutely true.
All right.
You know, because I mean, just like like you might say a cuss word in passing, and you didn't mean to do it, but and nowadays in places like Florida, you could be fired for that because they'll be say that's totally inappropriate. Whereas you may have just accidentally said the cuss word, or or a kid in a sense could have you could have a special ed kid in your classroom, and he or she could get out of control. I had a girl. I had this girl, and she was in special ed,
Mm-hmm.
and she's an Aquarius, and and she would just argue, and you couldn't calm her down. And so then one day the security had to come, and I said, Stop, calm down, calm down. So I had to take the security officer to the side and say, well, that girl right there, you're coming at her the wrong way. She's not going to calm down. You can't join her. If you start to listen to her, if you start in a sense to get excited, she's going to get more excited. So again,
Mm.
in a sense, things can be things can be misinterpreted. Like I was thinking about like sometimes in school, the principal might have a kid. The principal might have a kid that's acting up in kindergarten, and then some principals would be silly enough to have the police put them in the police car. They call themselves scaring the kid. But what if that kid get in the police car and they got that on film? Then that could, in a sense, maybe make that kid get upset down the road. But again,
True.
as I said, is that that when I was teaching for Chicago Board of Education, the stuff that happened in the hallway,
Mm-hmm.
that was usually, you know, they could only see that downtown. We couldn't see it in our school. But I can see how a lot of stuff would be misinterpreted and stuff.
So you never worked around cameras as far as in a classroom.
Nope, they only had the cameras out in the hallway.
They had a daycare where my son went to, right?
Uh-huh.
And they had cameras in the classroom. So as the parents, we can get online on a phone and we can watch live what's going on in a classroom. So it made us feel very very I guess cool, because we knew what was going on in the classroom. I had my mother watching it 24/7 when I'm on lunch. I was able to watch the cameras. I felt like we had some like kind of protective but protection. But one thing was, I remember this white lady, she would like whisper stuff in my son's ear, and I'd be like, what the hell that lady be whispering, And whenever he act up, she'll put him aside, and she'll like punish him differently. And I addressed it with her, and I told her to stop touching my son, because of that, But I think that's where the camera in my end came in as like, this is what I want, this is what I need, this is great. My mother was able to watch, so it was certain times where the teacher be lying. We'll look at the camera, footage will show different because we in Texas, and these teachers and these caretakers or whatever you call them, they get the line, man. They get the line on them kids. They get the saying stupid stuff just to protect themselves. So that's what I'm talking about. So looking at the footage and watching my son play on my break at work, man, that felt good. Now I always thought about when he go to middle school, elementary, did I want a camera? So I was looking at like Amazon for like cameras to put on his backpack and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like spy cameras. So I
Yeah.
was like, how did that work as far as the Wi-Fi? So it was like it needs some Wi-Fi for it to record and this, that, and the other. So we was gonna end up getting him one of them Apple phones, a phone and a watch. So if he had the phone and a watch, he'll have Wi-Fi, and he'll be able to have the footage on his backpack to film, and I'll be able to watch him on whatever he's doing at school.
That kind of.
It's a lot of thought that was going on to that, but the boy kept coming back and being picked on in class, and the teachers is not seeing the other side of the picture.
Right.
So the little white girls, they pinching him and bullying him and kicking him, and when he go to retaliate and punch little Susie and get little Susie a little stuffy nose, he gets in trouble for defending himself, although it ain't right what he doing. But then even though when he go and talk about it, they'll brush him off, and then little Susie will wait another day and then do it again, and they'll keep brushing it off on him. But man, them cameras, I think I love a camera, man. Even if I was growing up in school, because when I went to school, we didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
And
But even with the cell phone, since it's on Wi-Fi, it wouldn't really work in the school unless because most of the time, they're not going to give a student a code to the Wi-Fi.
no, you'll have what they call on your phone, what a hotspot is what they call hotspot.
Yeah,
So
but he'd had to set that up. But the thing
I
is,
set it up. Yeah, man.
yeah,
I'm the daddy. I go in and I set that sucker up, Dr. Clyde, and be watching this little tail, seeing what he doing. But I thought that was a little bit too much. I kind of trust him, But I do want to buy something like that just to watch him some days, just
yeah.
to see who's messing with him.
What
Because
grade is he? What grade is he in now?
fifth.
Fifth. Well, I'm gonna tell you one of the things, and this is kind of bad, but as a teacher, you only see the second hit. You don't usually see the thing that initiates.
Yeah.
And so then the only thing that you can do is that you can move kids around in the class. You can try to separate them, but then what you find is that a lot of times I've had some students at only a few, but I had some students where you could protect the kid in the classroom,
Mm-hmm.
you protect them in the lunchroom, you could protect them on the school grounds, but then sometimes the kids would follow the kid home and bully him.
Wow.
Yeah, they would follow. Oh yeah,
Man.
sometimes some bullies would follow a kid all the way from school. Get away from school.
That's just
But,
pathetic.
usually because when I was teaching, usually in a sense when at dismissal, you would come outside, and so you would at least walk around. You would walk around the school, maybe a block away from school. So then a lot of times the kids, they wouldn't pick on the other kids until they got about 2 or 3 blocks away. But some kids are just mean, man. Some kids are really mean. And the thing is, this is that I used to hate the fact that as a teacher, I couldn't really guarantee that I could stop a kid from being bullied, because the fact in the sense is that once they got out of the school, once they left school grounds, and if I wasn't around to see it, then it's gonna always be his word against her word,
Oh yeah, absolutely,
and 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 that,
absolutely.
and that can be quite frustrating,
Go
because
to the next one.
yeah,
Yes, sir. That can be frustrating because it's their word against your word. I don't know what the heck going on, who to trust, because that first hit, nobody's seen the first hit.
nope,
But
you
everybody's
know,
seen the retaliation.
right, and as a teacher, you know that person probably hit them first, but
Yep.
then you got to deal with what's presenting, and then
Hmm.
let's say that the other kids don't like your kid, then they'll side with that bully
They sure
sometimes
will.
because they're just nasty.
So we had equality concerns. Cameras watching all the time might be especially tough on students who already have some challenges or don't get the same chances as others. This could make things even more unfair for them. Once again, I think this is probably at the beginning stages of getting used to a camera watching you. As we look at like you ever seen like them Russian spy shows and stuff or movies where they have like the little kid and they like always under surveillance in a spy
Yeah,
class doing stuff 24. That didn't affect them. I think that once you get familiar with a camera being in front of you once again, um, I think that it won't really affect you as much. I
it
really
won't.
don't.
It won't. But then you had to think about this: is that some kids have emotional problems, and some kids are just gonna act up, man.
They just gonna act up.
Like when I first started teaching, being the man, when I first started teaching, they used to have us teaching the bad kids class. In other words, every time a man came into the school, a lot of times they want you to teach the class that had the bad kids in it. Damn you! Why you want to teach them? But you know what I found,
Hmm,
Yoshi?
hmm, hmm,
I found that by the time I retired in 2016,
hmm.
most of the boys, many of the boys had never had a man tell them what to do. And do you know it was very hard to discipline some of the kids, some of the boys, because many of the boys, because there was no man in the house. No, back in the day when I was growing up, at least it was an uncle or cousin, some man around the house. But see, by 2016, many boys grew up with no men telling them what to do, and this meant that a lot of them was being in trouble because they didn't want a man to tell them what to do, whereas they could accept a woman telling them what to do. Everything can get to be quite contradictory and sad in a classroom, in a school. You see, depending upon what's going on in that community. See,
Mm,
your son was coming from a two-parent home.
hmm.
That made a big difference. Whereas,
Okay.
in a sense, as I told you when I was teaching at Governor State, a lot of times I would have white women, and they would always want to do research papers on single-parent homes. And then I would always say, "Do you have any children?" Yeah. Are you married? I was married. And then they wouldn't want to do the paper because sometimes a lot of white women would forget that they're single parents too, because they usually get a boyfriend. White women in a sense they can somehow always find boyfriends, even though it may not be any cognition or relationship, but they can always keep them. A lot of times they can keep a man somewhere around. You see.
Mm,
It's interesting to me, very interesting. But that's another story. I'm going off
mm,
topic.
mm.
Get me back. Get me back.
Get back. Let's go to the next
Bring
one.
me
Let's
up,
go to the next one.
Yoshi.
Let's bring some money in.
Bring
Oh
me in,
yeah, there
Yoshi.
we go. All right, resource and distribution. All right, look, dig this. Money. The funds used for installing and maintaining cameras could arguably be better spent on resources that directly contribute to education qualities such as books, educational material, and additional staff. What's up with that?
That could be that's absolutely true. But the point is this: is that when you think of it from a materialistic point of view, and you had to see where education is going. Is that see pretty soon it's just going to be a principal at school. It's going to be a principal at school and a programmer. See, and so then what they're going to do is that they're going to probably put cameras in every classroom.
Yep.
Because that's going to be the security.
Why not?
Yeah, and it would be cheaper. It would be cheaper than
It'll be cheaper
than paying a resource person. The only problem is because there won't be any human contact. See, already the biggest problem in many schools is they don't have counselors, and because they don't have counselors,
they sure don't. And
right.
what these counselors, what do the counselors do if they do have the counselors? Because I've seen that they do have counselors, but the counselors doesn't counsel your emotions. They counsel your electives and how you doing in class. Not
they're
necessarily.
supposed to.
All right, so what are they? What's the description?
They're supposed to be there so that they can counsel kids who need help. But as you said. Most of the counselors in the school, in the elementary school, they spend a lot of times preparing the kids for the test. Getting the test done. Third, eighth, and third and eighth. They preparing for that, and then they're preparing the kids. The eighth graders, they spend a lot of time working with the eighth graders to get their high school program set up. So, like you said, it's not. Then a lot of them aren't being counselors, but at some schools there are some counselors who will take the time to be there. You see, but because that's one of the problems with most black schools is that a lot of times they don't have any school counselors that really deal with counseling the kids. You see, a lot of times they're just, as you said, they're just doing work around the school to encourage people. But as I said, in the future, to save money, they're going to just have cameras in every classroom. They'll probably have the police are going to be robots. So they're just going to come to the school and come in and kick some butt. And
put them in a little mini cage.
Put them in a little mini cage.
Center.
They're going to just go off what they see on the film. They're going to just
they are.
And we know that AI is racist, and because AI is racist.
Look, check this out. Craig so far said, I remember kids in my junior high were scared of the principal, not because of the discipline, because her breath was stinking. Hey, look, my mother used to say at the elementary school, when she used to walk into the double doors, it used to smell like children's fart. And she said, I don't know what it is about that school. It's like, it smelled like all the kids just farted at the entrance. Once you get past the entrance, it don't smell like children's fart no more. I knew a dude, you're right about that. I knew a teacher, that we didn't like him because his breath was stinky. We hated getting in trouble because his ass used to get in our face and with that stinky breath, and he used to be talking loud and talking crazy. So, you're right about that. That'll make you straighten up and fly right.
But what about when you're in high school? And I don't know about you, but I did. I had one. Everybody, when I was in high school, at least had one teacher who would fall asleep. And the whole he's sleeping the whole class just about, and then give you some work to do. And he up there sleeping and stuff. I don't know.
I didn't have nothing like that.
I had
a
teacher like that when I was in high school, man.
Our school was well orchestrated in the gap. Shout out to Hastings and Elsick out there in A-Leaf. But teachers with coffee breath. Teachers just with stank breath, period. I had teachers that were very cool, real cool, down to earth, man. Like some of the coolest teachers that let me roam the halls because I did good work. I was kind of like a little nerd. Let's go to the next clip. I was kind of like a little nerd, man, dealing with art and stuff. So, privacy and invasion. We're going to say this one and then we're going to go to a commercial. So, privacy and invasion. Literature. What it say? Literature is an imaginative work that pictures humans' life and societies can be enjoyed, understood, and used by society. Literature means the expression of life and human expression and live to understand and live. That ain't got nothing to do with what that got to do. Maybe I put the wrong thing on the wrong thing, but privacy and invasion, pretty much people going loony and going crazy because they are losing their minds on privacy and invasion. They feel that they're being spied on. You in class and you always have an eyeball on you. It make you feel. First of all, school already feel like a jail. You know, from the buses to lining up to your lockers, having to your confinement in the classroom, to I feel like that. It's always like jail. It's just related to jail. So privacy invasion is one of the things because at school you got to be sneaky sometime. Let a kid be a kid. We do some sneaky shiggity. We hide stuff. When we want to eat some candy in class, I want to sneak and eat candy. If I have a camera in class, I cannot sneak and eat my damn candy, man. Right?
No, you can't do it. But a lot of time, but a smart teacher, a lot of times they'll ignore certain things.
Mm.
They'll ignore certain things and stuff, or they'll just say, "I don't want to see it.
They will.
I don't
Yeah.
want to see it. I don't want to see
My
it."
wife works at a alternative learning disorder center. So she works at one of them centers where it's the kids are bad. They need help, right? So these kids, man, they off the wall, man, and she see with them, you can't really do nothing with them. A lot of them, they just like had a mind on one thing and they just have it set to just say, I'm just finna be destructive today. And them kids, man, they be on vapes and all that stuff, man. Them kids messed up. I went to one of them schools, man.
But a lot of those kids in schools like that. What you find? What you find is that what you find is this is that a lot of I've in some of those schools I've heard here in Illinois, you can't even let the girls go. You can't even let the girls go to the bathroom together because they'll be performing oral sex on each other.
Yeah, it gets real dirty, man.
Yeah,
Real dirty. Real dirty.
and okay, create. Junior says, I remember I remember kids in my junior high scared of the principal, not because they were disciplined, but because their breath was stinking. You got that right. I remember when in Illinois, in Illinois once they stopped in a sense allowing corporal punishment in the schools.
Mm-hmm.
Once they didn't allow corporal punishment in the schools, what you found is that a lot of times in a sense the kids would just act up. Once the kids found, you even though people wasn't hitting the kids in the school
Mm-hmm.
with rulers and stuff like that, they still in a sense they got rid of corporal punishment. And then when they got rid of corporal punishment, then in a sense a lot of kids started acting up. But anyway, I want everybody to let's pay attention. This is contact tones 5.
Brother weigh a ton, tons 5. He has indigenous art. Do you see that right there? Yeah, he created that right there. And that chain, that's the evil eye. Yeah, the crystals. Yeah, brother go hard. That's a seashell right there. Wrapped in some copper. But them two designs on the right and left, yeah, he got them out of one of them mounds, man, out there in Florida. So yeah, y'all check him out because he does a lot of research on his
Yeah.
own, and he really be into it, man. That brother be really he pays attention to a lot of what we have going on with our indigenous folks as far as our ancient
Yeah.
ancestors, and he bring them back to life on their craft and their art. So shout out to Tons Fi. You know, brother got it. Yeah, he got this shit going on point, man. Yeah,
And
he
you know
funny,
now
man.
some of the jewelry, like Yoshi said, some of the jewelry, some of the jewelry is based upon stuff that they had found in the mounds. You know, and I'm gonna try something.
I want to play your book.
Okay, we'll do that in a minute, but
Yeah, what you got going on?
nope, it didn't work. I keep trying to see if these slides, if I can do a full screen. It doesn't. They don't want to show the slides.
KB1 family, I'm
Mm.
excited to tell you about something super special and educational. This Black History Month, Yoshi Mod has created an amazing collection of PDFs all about incredible Black inventors and their amazing achievements. Do you know about Mae Jemison, the first FBA woman astronaut? Or Percy Julian, who made groundbreaking discoveries in chemistry? These are just a couple of the amazing people you'll learn about in
Right, y'all going Gumroad.
these PDFs are perfect for teachers, homeschooling parents, or anyone who loves learning.
Hey, for everybody
Filled
who
with
need to
fun
learn something new.
inspiring stories that make learning about Black history exciting. Only $3 for a journey through history with
That's
some of
it.
the most
It's
influential
$3.
Black inventors and scientists. Just click the link in the description to grab your copies from Yoshi Mod's Gumroad store.
Yes,
And don't
sir.
forget to check out Yoshi Mod's other amazing creations and music on Spotify. Let's learn, have fun, and celebrate Black history together.
You know, get the check it out. It's Black History. It's Black History all year long.
Baby, baby.
It's not just one time of the year. Okay, check
Baby,
this out. You know,
baby.
please support my books.
Man, that shiggity was tight. I want blacks in Europe. You on mute. Take yourself off mute. There you go.
Hey, I've just written a new book, History and Culture of the Black Aboriginals of America. Yes, yes, I've written a new book. This book is called History and Culture of Afro Americans. It's about the Aboriginal Americans. It's about the first people who inhabited America. Many people don't know about our great culture, this super culture that we created, but I discuss this book. In 489 pages, you'll find out so much information, great information, about, in a sense, what the Aboriginal foundational Black Americans did. You're going to see, in a sense, that Black people contributed much here. When the first Europeans got here, that's what they found. Yes, they found Black Aboriginals inhabiting the Americas. It was the Black Aboriginals that built this country. This is why you had to get my book. Get my book, History and Culture of the Aboriginal Blacks of the Americas. In this book, you will find out the truth. You will know what we created. You will know who we are. Get this book. Buy it now. Very excited about this book because this is the only book where you can really find out about the history and culture of Black people in America. Now, one more, and this will be the last. Today is today. We need to homeschool our children due to white supremacy. In many states, education departments are passing laws to deny our children from learning the history of foundational Black Americans. Today, you can learn how to organize and teach your children in a homeschool. In my book, A Guide to Homeschool Foundational Black Americans. You can use my book history of blacks in America from prehistory to 1877 to teach our children their history here in the United States. You can use my book to teach world history. And this book I've written is called The World History of the Black World. This will teach your children about every black civilization in the world. Get this book. The time is now. Get these books to teach your children about their greatness, to prevent them from losing confidence in their own ability to learn and be successful future adults in employment and education. Yeah, knowledge is power,
No,
And
that's
the
right.
thing is this is that, you look at what's going on in New York City. And what's going on in New York City is terrible. It is terrible. I mean, not New York City, but Florida. Down in Florida, they're taking away the ability of people to be able to learn. They're taking away people being able to learn black history and stuff like that.
Right, right.
So
I,
then,
I want to do a whole show on Florida. I want
okay,
to know what's the big deal on Florida then and now. Why they attack Florida so much? Why Florida? Why why weird stuff happen in Florida? Like right now, like when I be hearing like these weird laws they trying to pass, and it's weird and racist, hardcore racist. And they
yeah,
be coming from Florida. And you be like, is this a joke?
but see what happened is that, but they have so much, they have so many black supporters of their programs. We'll talk about it whenever you get ready to do the show.
Cool,
But
cool.
there's so many Haitians, so many Haitians in Florida, and many of the supporters of these educational policies, they're not FBA, and because they're not FBA, they support a lot of that junk. Just like the other day, when they fired all of the fired many of the teachers who are in the diversity department.
Mm-hmm.
They fired many of the teachers in the diversity department the other day. They had this Haitian brother coming out, and he's supporting it, saying, "Oh, it's this, it's that." No, it's just criminal. But see, that's one of the reasons why I think that we had to really push this, homeschooling. You may not want to take your kids out of school entirely, but you still need to have a program to be able to teach your kids their history, because see, that's what gives
Yes.
your child self-esteem.
Yes.
That's what protects your child from AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
AIDS is a debilitating disease, man. And AIDS is what? Culturally acquired immune identity deficiency syndrome. And what that is that when black people don't understand their culture, their history, where they come from, then therefore, in a sense, they lose immunity to whiteness and they think they're white. And then when they think they're white, they lose their identity and start, in a sense, to believe that they're white and they're just as good as
Mm.
white people. And
Mm.
when you believe you're just as good as white people, that is the number one mistake you can make. See,
Dun dun dun.
you should never believe that you're as good as white people, because of critical race theory, white supremacy has established a race, and in this race, you're always supposed to lose. And since you're always supposed to lose, they feel, in a sense, is that they can't allow you to really, in a sense, think you're as good as them. Because see, when you think you're as good as them, then you become like, that guy, you know, that Johnson guy, who was wanting to make his girlfriend into Coretta King. He wanted to make a white woman become Coretta King.
You
And
become that. You become Wesley Snipes.
yeah.
You become a lot of these folks who
And who's the worst one? Tyrese. What about
yeah.
Tyrese? No, he wish he was Spanish. He wish he was down in Texas with you. He
Yeah,
said he was,
man, these people wish that, man, they want to write some country songs with Beyonce. Good
I'm
luck.
now and down.
I know, right? Texas, yeah.
How you doing? How you doing?
Too
Some chick,
funny.
some chick named Start, and
Some chick named Star.
Timbo Slice. How you
Timbo
doing?
Slice.
You want
Let's
to go
go to
back
the
to your
next. Yeah,
presentation?
go to the next.
Okay, let's get it popping.
Yeah, make that cool, man. Let's go to that next one, man.
Oh, me see.
Cameras, not okay and okay. Two major categories. While it's very important to keep schools safe and secure, putting cameras in classrooms can cause worries about privacy, how well students learn, and how happy and comfortable everybody is at school. Because of these issues, a lot of people think it's not a good idea to have cameras watching all the time in in places where we learn. Um, on the flip side, while the implementations of the classroom cameras in the classroom has its advantages, its essentials, and balances benefits and considerations of privacy and educational environment to ensure the surveillance tools are used ethically and efficiency. So what we're saying is there's a bad part to it, which we brought to everybody's attention, all the wrongs, and now we're gonna look at what's all the goods and all the benefits of having a camera in the classroom.
What do you
What's up?
what do you think about having a camera in the gym? You know, especially high school gym when once you get in the gym, look like they should fire a lot of teachers because once you get in the gym, most of the time they don't have you do exercise. They when I was, at a lot of schools, they just let the kids play basketball or whatever, and then some kids just sit around in the gym. What was your high school? What was your high school and junior high gym class like?
Like I said before, the school I was at, man, them teachers, they was on point with everything. So I had no problems at gym. We worked. They made us work, do gym stuff. But I have heard stories. So that was what's up, Zachary Holmes? B1, baby. So that was a story of the gym. They had surveillance in a gym, and all of a sudden, when the black boy got rolled up into the mats and passed away, the cameras cut off
What?
in between that section, and he died in the mats. And they have a whole Netflix series on it about how it's wrong and how he died. And what it is the little boy, the boy that was rolled up in the mat got into it with one of the white boys, and the white boy his dad is
Sheriff?
sheriff. Yeah, and he's friends with, like, best friends with
Wow.
the judge and stuff. So they did research behind all of it and seen the connections and everything on how the little white boy can get away with the murder. And they figured it out because the white boy was fighting with him. So surveillance worked to a certain extent. And also we know, like, my mother had an incident with surveillance on the school bus.
Yeah.
Because at one point there was no surveillance on the school buses for a long time, and
Oh, wow.
they start putting cameras on the school buses in Texas. And my mother been driving for 40 years, so she was able to let me know what it was like to not drive with cameras on the school bus versus driving now with it. And she was like, well, back then I was able to listen to my soap operas. I had my headphones in, and I was able to listen to my soap operas as I drive. Now, can't listen to none of that. Gotta drive and hear these kids. And it backfired on her with the company she worked with, HISD, because they fired her and they manipulated the cameras. So
Oh,
she had
wow.
an incident on the bus, and they ended up manipulating the cameras and cutting out scenes. And she seen the cameras and pointed it out, but that's one of the problems with cameras, manipulation. I want to say that. But on the flip side, legal protection. Video footage can serve as evidence in situations where there are disputes or accusations, providing a factual account of evident or events that can protect both students and staff legally. So if you see something and you report something, the cameras can show it can be used as defense, and you can use it as something that can protect you, because especially if something is wrongfully being done in school, you would like to have that legal protection on your side to where you can actually, you go to the next flip. Yeah, you can actually have that legal protection. So enhanced safety. That's why we go into enhanced safety. Cameras can help ensure the safety of both students and teachers. They can deter potential intruders and individuals with harmful intentions, and in case of incidents, video footage can provide crucial evidence. That was it was an incident that happened in Selena Young, where or Santa Fe, where law officers hesitated to go in the school building, and because of this hesitation, this little dirty white boy went in there and killed all them other little kids. And he went in there on a killing spree, but it showed on the cameras the police not responding quick enough to go into the building to save the little children. So the cameras show when people are lacking. Dr. Clyde, I think I was telling you, a lot of times when you see a crime on TV and they have the news anchor, on television, you can see that the pictures, all the time when they had the surveillance pictures, and the surveillance pictures always like right before they did the act or right after they did the act or something. And I was letting you know that the cameras that are in every neighborhood and every street light all over the United States still work. They still operate. So whenever there's a crime or whenever there's an activity going on illegal, these people are still watching.
Yeah.
Whenever you go and steal the clothing from the store and you get in your car and you think because they didn't get your license plate, and you go to that light didn't capture you, that light got you.
Just like it's just what they want to do. Just like in Chicago. In Chicago, they used to make a big deal about the crash. The crash. In Chicago, a lot of times they ramming into these stores, and then they run into Macy's or some other store. Then they grab stuff. But in Chicago now, they trying to not play it up too much, because now a lot of the pictures are coming up showing those little white hands. A lot of times.
Oh, really? So it's white folks doing it.
Yeah, it's mainly Spanish. It was the Spanish and whites who started it. It was the Spanish and white kids who started doing COVID. What
you call the white folks? What they mestizos?
Yeah, mestizos. Yeah, a lot of mestizos was doing it.
Mestizos.
Even during the pandemic. In Chicago.
Yep.
It was because the Latinos, they would run in there and grab the stuff they would put some bricks. They put some bricks over there where the black people be protesting. Then they would run downtown, and then they would bum rush the stores.
Yeah, I seen that they was planting the bricks out there and stuff. Yeah. And see, the surveillance caught it. Surveillance caught it. Man, come on.
But see, the surveillance catch everything, but the police only use it when they want to.
In London, not in London, but in British UK, they got that CCTV stuff
everywhere.
You seen that, right? Like what? Yeah. And you know that them dirty fools out there, they got a piss problem. Them nasty people walking and pissing. I had a friend of mine that he used to live out there, and he said they had a pit, like people pissing in the street, man.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff is that?
Well, in Chicago we have alleys, and if people got a pee bed, they're running alley and pee. So I mean,
oh really? Well, even New Orleans was nasty like that. So a lot of people be like, "You ever been to New Orleans?"
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you go to New Orleans, man, it's like that as well, man. The hype was so much hype. What's up, Lindy Tillman? It was so much hype in New Orleans about New Orleans, man, and we went to New Orleans on Bourbon Street. Man, that place smelled like throw up and urine and alcohol and
Yeah.
beer. It was horrible. Worse, it was, and you looking behind, your back, watching over your shoulder because you feel like, man, anything can go on out there on Bourbon Street, man, because people pissing on the side of the walls and it's just nasty, man. It's just nasty. Let's
You
go.
gotta remember, you're in a place with a lot of people druggies, you know.
Yeah. Because when we were driving in, man, they was having like some kind of crackhead dance
Yeah.
on one of the statues. It was 3 dudes. They was dancing in slow motion on the stat. Man, we was like, man, we in New Orleans, man. We made it, man. And this is what they showing right when you get in, right when you drive in. Welcome
And,
New Orleans.
And then if you got prostitutes around, that's going alley and defecate. Come on now.
Oh yeah.
And
Absolutely.
so it's kind of like it's part of life. It's part of that's one of the things about growing up in a large urban center. You have places like that. Where
right.
where it can be quite smelly.
Very smelly. Let's go to the next clip. Nasty. Teacher training and development. Footage from classrooms can be used for teacher training and professional development, allowing educators to observe and reflect their training or teaching methods and student interaction to improve their instructional strategies. Now, what do you believe about that, Baba? Like, what you think about that as far as
Well,
you can watch the teachers help them with their whatever they're doing with their curriculum, knowing what they're lacking in. What you think?
well, I think that's not. I think that's not too bad. I mean, even when I was in education back in the '70s, they used to film us
Really?
as student teachers, yeah. But they would film us as student teachers, and then critique and tell you what you could do better. Yeah, that's cool.
Really?
I know in
That's
Chicago,
cool.
in Chicago, when they first started letting people teach who didn't have a teacher education training in certain schools on the north side, they would have these teachers practice teaching in the classrooms, and they could kind of. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think it can be helpful. You can
real tight.
you can in a sense learn some of your faults. You can see some of the things that you do wrong, and some of the things you do right. So anytime, I mean, that's just like in sports or anything. Anytime that you're filming people and you're using it to help them instead of trying to put them down,
Oh,
some people, in a sense, like police officers, a lot of times they don't like to go see psychologists and stuff because they'll use that against you, to fire you and stuff. So it all depends. If they're using it to benefit you, to help you to become a better teacher, fine. But if they're using it to find a way to fire you, you never know, man. Sometimes you're on a job and people don't like you.
Yeah, and they can use that against you, so they can get that footage and be like, man, I hate Trishonda, man. See, look, any little thing Trishonda do off the board, I'm going to report Trishonda. And you get them kind of weird people that'll focus on you and try to get you for everything and knock you off your feet. Yeah.
That's right. Look at LaShonda. She put her finger in her nose. She digging out boogers.
God darn LaShonda. Then she going to pass around a piece of paper to them damn kids.
But I'll tell you this. When I was in high school, I had an economics, and she would always, and I was sitting in the front of the class. Me and this other guy, she'd always just stretch. You just stretch and just lean forward so we could see those breasts. And we'd be sitting.
Really? So you looking at? Hey, if there was cameras in class, you can't be around there looking at the breasts and the messages and the buns and the toasts.
Yeah, well, that was back when I was in school. They didn't have those type of things. Everybody looked at the breasts.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to do nothing like that then. No.
Yeah, she shouldn't even did that, having two teenage boys up in the front, and she got to be stretching.
Nah, you shouldn't have been
Wow,
thinking like that.
you know now, you know what?
Shame on
I was,
you.
in my school, in a sense. One day after school, some of the kids caught two of the teachers having sex in the classroom.
In the classroom, huh?
In the classroom,
So she must have had a fantasy.
no, she was hiding. He just went on and took care of business. That's when you needed cameras in the classroom and stuff. But the
You see what I'm saying?
only thing I hated was my principal. I loved her. I thought she was great, but she fired the man, but she didn't fire the woman. That wasn't fair to me.
See that bias stuff. See
Yeah,
that's another reason. Go
yeah,
to the next clip. That's why we want to talk about behavior monitoring, because cameras can help monitor behavior within a classroom. They can detect the negative behaviors like bullying, cheating, or other forms of misconduct in individuals, and likely act more responsible when they know that they're being watched or observed. So if they know that they being watched, if you say, man, I've seen what you did in school. I used to do that to my son. My mother used to be like, we seen what you did in pre-K, and he couldn't say nothing because we was watching him.
yeah.
So it made him act right. We knew that he was acting wrong. We knew that he couldn't lie. So being able to have access to the classrooms and watch our children, I think that, like I said before, a wonderful experience. You can look at the negative behaviors, look at who's bullying. Normally, when I was looking at the on the footage, it was the little girls over there being like too I guess overprotective over my son. Like they'll be like, he was real little. So they'll be hugging him and being just protecting him, holding his hand, making sure he was, and I thought that was pretty funny, but seeing that, and also seeing that the bully was a teacher, because I seen a teacher bully before, a white lady bullying my teacher. I seen that. Remember I told you that the teacher was whispering in his ear, and she, that lady was weird, man. She was doing weird stuff around my son, so I had to check her a couple of times. But yeah, bullies.
But as I told you, is that you still can have problems because you can have a teacher that's bipolar or manic depressive, and or you can have a kid who can be bipolar, manic depressive. So then you'd be surprised, man. A lot of times we used to sometimes you might have to send kids to the psych ward, and they'd have to stay there for 3 or 4 days because it's you got all type of students, all type of teachers.
Hey, look, check this out. Wild story. I knew a friend of mine. He had a sister and a brother, and they was staying at his aunt's house, and his aunt stayed in Galveston, right? And while they was staying with her, they heard like stuff dropping in the kitchen and stuff, and they started seeing like a ghost, and they would like respond to this ghost or this being, and they told the aunt, man, there's a dude in your living room, and man, this dude keep messing with us and this and that and other. And so the aunt, she was like, man, y'all need to stop talking crazy in my house. I don't be playing no crazy games. I bring y'all over here, I feed y'all ass, y'all over here talking crazy. Y'all keep on now. And so, the next night, they seen the ghost again. And the ghost kept messing with them. And both of them seen the ghost. They wasn't hallucinating. They was young kids. They was around by, one was probably about 14, the other one probably about 16, 17. So they seeing these spirits. So the aunt called, she told him she wasn't having that weird stuff going on, right? So she called the psych ward, and the psych ward came and picked the kids up and put them in the truck, sent them to the
Yeah,
station, in a padded room. So the girl was telling me her experience, and the boy was telling me his experience. And the boy was like, man, they just doped me up and kept me under a bunch of pills, so I don't remember shit. And so the girl was like, they had me strapped up, and I was in a strap jacket in a padded room, and they kept trying to give me medicine, but I didn't want it. And they kept us in there for like 5 days or something.
Yeah, they do. They want to watch you, man. They want to watch you. But again, it's very difficult, man. And then it's very difficult. But like I said, is that it's they're gonna take the kid in for his or her protection.
Oh yeah, they did that. So monitor the behavior in the classroom, misconduct, watching bullying, cheating on tests. You finally find out who is actually smart and who is dumb, who's really actually doing the work. You can find out is little Billy really cheating off Molly, or is Molly cheating off Billy, or is Cassandra really the smart genius of them all and they both cheating off Cassandra?
I heard that.
We could find out all this
Well,
with these cameras.
I'm glad they didn't have it in my algebra class, because they would have definitely saw me cheating off Maryland.
Oh, God dang. You was cheating.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Maryland liked me. Maryland liked me. Let me look at her paper. Yes.
Oh, snap. Oh,
snap. I was a teacher in algebra, man.
Hey, accountability. Video recordings can hold both students and teachers accountable for their actions. For teachers, it can ensure that they adhere to education standards and practices, while for students, it can encourage and enhance for school rules and policies. It can mess them up. It can mess them up, as far as the students' education, accountability. You can look and see if a student is actually paying attention in class, actually doing their work, instead of lying, right, Baba? You ever met one of them kids where they lying, talking about, I did the work, I did everything, I put in all the work, and you like, man, I watched you in class, man, you ain't did shit.
We had two special education kids, and we happened to have been talking with them in the library. And these two kids, after the class, the two kids went to the principal and told the principal we was letting them have sex in class.
Wow.
The only thing that saved us was we was in the library, and we had a lot of witnesses. And but kids can have all type of stuff. And see, what made it so bad, this is about what, 90? This is about 2000. This is about 2000. And this kid, he was mean. He was in special ed, he was mean and stuff. And they was having on WGN in Chicago, they was having a thing about how to to adopt foster kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they had his ass on there. And they're telling me what a good kid he was. I said, that boy is a mess. That boy is a mess. This, like I said, is all type of kids, man. And you had to really, it can be kind of heartbreaking, because everybody is not the same. Some people are going through things that we can't even imagine.
That's wild, man. That's wild. Because, you never know what people is going through.
That's right.
You never know.
Yeah.
So let's see right here. We got a recorded lesson that can be a valuable resource for students who wish to review the material covered in class. So we talking about a replay. For those who are absent, that is tight. Or for students who need additional help understanding the lesson. So I can see how this will play out real good, Baba. This is like, if I missed a day in class, man, can you send me the footage?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Man, that's tight. Or I didn't understand today's lesson. Can I be able to go over today's lesson at home?
Right. But even still, That works good for most people, but you can have some kids in special ed, they would still need a teacher next to them to interpret even the video. But for normal kids, it might not be as bad. Like it's remember when it comes to see, this is the thing that makes teaching such a rewarding experience, but also a frustrating experience. And what that is that you can make the best lesson plan available, but each kid will have to interpret that lesson plan in a different way. And sometimes you may have to, in a sense, switch up your teaching style when you're teaching a lesson just by looking at the kids' faces. Sometimes you can look at their face and you can say, "Damn, that lesson bombed. I don't even have to test them. They did not. They did not. They did not understand what the hell I was trying to teach them." Then, if you had the tape of that class, and you could kind of critique and say, "Oh, this is where I made a mistake. Oh, maybe I should do this different." So it could be helpful. Yeah,
it can be helpful. Yeah.
It can be a good instructional tool.
I can see that. I can see that. I can see that.
You know, in the research, my research class, that's what we would do is that we would send out the video of the class, and then the people could look at it. You know, like they could look at the videotape and they could use that. So they would always have that lesson available. So down the road, if they needed to do a particular procedure, they would know how to do it. So it pays off. It pays off. It's a good instructional tool and a way for learners to be able to practice and get additional instruction.
Mm-hmm. Go to the next one. Emergency response. So in case of emergency, real-time footage can provide immediate information to responders, helping them act swiftly and effectively. Absolutely. So it can be hazards in the class, especially dealing with science. It can be things, you ever see them little shows where them little kids be blowing up the science room?
Right.
You ever dissected a frog in biology?
No.
But you ever been around it?
Nope.
Oh, wow. So they had it at our school, and the embalming fluid, it just smells, and they in there just dissecting the frogs, taking out stuff, I didn't do none of that, but I was able to walk around. Remember I told you my teachers was cool, man. They gave me passes. I was able to walk around classrooms, the hallways, and everything, and kind of mess with everybody because I knocked my work out real quick. I was pretty smart. Yeah. That's what I used to do.
Well, that was cool.
Yeah, so you didn't know nothing about no frog dissecting and none of that. Y'all didn't have none of that then, huh?
They couldn't afford it when I was in high school.
Oh, snap.
They, but probably, but when I was teaching in high schools later, when I came out of school, the schools I taught at, the high schools I taught at, they was teaching it, but I wasn't ever in the classroom because I taught social studies. Yeah, I was a social studies teacher. And when I was teaching elementary school, I taught science. But, I only taught just general science, 6th grade science. That's just introduction to life, cells, and things like that. And 8th grade science, nothing too much,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not any real detailed stuff.
Oh, okay. Nothing detailed.
Nah.
Cool. Let's go up into parental involvement. So cameras can offer parents a glimpse into their child's learning environment, which can enhance parent-teacher communication and collaboration, making parents more engaged in their child's education. You believe that?
From listening to you, it worked with you and your family.
It sure did.
So I can imagine it would help, and it helped in both ways. On the one hand, you could see, in a sense, those things that could have maybe impeding your child from learning, but you also could see places where you could maybe kind of talk to your kid to help him become more disciplined and maybe more focused. So it worked. I think it can be very good in terms of parental involvement. You know.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved my son. Actually, his best experiences in school and everything was when he was being surveillanced.
Yeah.
When we was watching him and monitoring him, he liked that so much. So, um, knowing that us as parents, we can interact with the teacher and say, well, especially if he's like falling asleep in class.
Mhm.
It's been times due to be dozing off, and we like know what time he's dozing off, so then we can actually adjust to his sleep schedule. Because um, we really didn't give him a sleep schedule. We kind of monitored him, and he gave his own sleep schedule, because if he can sleep at 12 o'clock and wake up good, then hey, 12 o'clock is his sleep schedule. If he at 10 o'clock he wake up good, then 10 o'clock is his sleep schedule. But if at 11 he's grouchy or bad, nah, we're going to change it. We're going to do this. So we made adjustments due to him
Mhm.
being who he is. How much time do he need? So if he need 5 hours of sleep, 8 hours, or 10 hours. So we
Yeah.
kind of monitored him like that.
Yeah, you can do that with one child, but when you got two or three kids, you start setting up a bedtime.
Oh,
Yes.
it ain't none of that going on. Yeah, it's a bedtime. Everybody getting in that bed at 8 o'clock. Yeah, y'all done.
Or
Yeah,
thereabouts.
no, that's right.
Yeah.
My wife was telling me that a lot of the white kids she know is when she used to monitor them and babysit them, it was 9 o'clock. The kids be in
Yeah.
bed.
That's
They
when that was about
done
9 o'clock when my kids were growing up, 9, 10.
9 o'clock.
You hate when they start getting 10 or 11. They ain't going to bed after that. No.
Nah, they trying to stay up with you. That
Right.
completes the PDF, man. That completes the slideshow.
Thank
That's it,
you.
y'all. Yeah, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all, thank
You
y'all.
know, but this is very. I like the fact in a sense is that it's bringing up ideas that you can really think about because Zachary Holmes B1 baby, and
Boy.
I think it's very important in the sense that we do remember these things. Karen Van Zandt said, "I remember when that happened. The black boy that was found dead rolled up in the mat. Yeah, I don't remember it and stuff, but I know they were
Right,
talking. They were
right.
talking the other day about that somebody got killed in some town, and they said that they showed the family the police video where they came in and killed this brother. It was a domestic thing, and they came in and killed the brother while he was asleep. But the official tape they edited it, and
Mm.
that's the problem that sometimes the official tape. But
Yeah, that's what
I think
happened. Yeah.
that the most important thing is that one of the things is that it is so many varied things you have to think about in terms of cameras in the classroom.
Right. That really when they edited that, just like how they did my mother, they edited her footage, and when she seen it, they made her look like the bad guy. And what she was trying to do was stay out of the way and not break up the situation. Because when it come to kids fighting on the bus, you're not the bus driver's not supposed to touch the kids. You supposed to move out the way, and that's exactly what she did, and it backfired on her because it showed her moving out the way, but it showed the last scene where she was able to get the kid and move the kid off the bus, and they blended it. They just did a bunch of magic. I wish I was in that goddamn room when all that was happening, because I know what to say and what's going on. But what it was she was towards the end and was getting ready to retire. So as she was getting ready to retire from bus driving, that's when they hit her with that footage and got her like that. That's messed up.
It's you guys in the chat. Did you have any questions that you'd like answered about cameras in the classroom? But I think we just about covered everything. But if
I
there,
know, right? We didn't cover the your reason why there shouldn't be no cameras in the classroom as far as a sexy teacher. having somebody, a sexy teacher up there teaching, I can see why there shouldn't be no
Uh,
cameras in a classroom,
Now
right?
you say you never not. Now you know I cannot believe that you went 4 years of high school and didn't have
Yeah.
one teacher
No.
who knew she was pretty, and you
No.
said in a sense be kind of flirtatious
No.
with the class with the boys.
No. Not one. No.
Wow, that's cool, man. That's
A
cool.
lot of the now, I guess it wasn't cool because I probably would have made A's and B's and honor roll. But
Well,
yeah, that you on the
I got
other
a good
hand.
grade in economics, man. 'Cause I was paying attention. I was paying attention to the teacher when she was teaching.
That's what that is. That's how. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Become a master teacher. You better find something interesting in class. But
I
yeah,
heard that. How you doing, Johnny
cameras.
Love?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Black Magic. Yeah. Cameras in the classroom. You know. We had a guy growing up. He used to sell candy, right?
Uh-huh.
And it ain't what you had in the cafeteria. Dude went hard on selling candy, so he's selling them in a classroom, and you got to kind of get it. Remember, I told you I say I don't like a camera in the classroom because I can't eat my snacks,
Yeah.
man. Look, man, I got honey buns in my backpack. I didn't get to eat it in breakfast because we was running late, and I need to eat my honey buns in class. It's been times I got hot chips as a kid, man. I'm in there. I want some hot chips. I want some snacks, whatever the snack is, gummy worms or whatever, Snickers, goddamn Reese's Pieces. Look, I just want to be in class, and I don't want nobody hemming me up or taking my snacks while I'm over here trying to learn this stuff I don't want to
No,
learn, man.
like they had. I think it was an epidemic a couple of weeks ago where one of the
Mm.
schools had to be closed because they had an insect infestation. I remember I had
Whoa.
when I was teaching, I had this one girl. She was kind of she would come to school and roaches would come out of her book bag, and so that
Whoa.
problem. Yes.
I knew kids at the schoolhouse. You sit next to them, and roaches would come out their bag and go to yours.
Yeah, and then going in the desk because a
Yeah.
lot of times some kids would leave candy in the desk that wasn't all chewed up or swallowed or
Oh
whatever.
nah, that's
That
nasty.
would and gum. Man, I used to hate. Sometimes you touch the bottom of the
The
desk and then your
desk
hand
and
gets
this bunch of
ah!
gum all under there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's one of the reasons why you don't like kids to chew gum in your class.
yeah. I like to do the art. I scribble the art on the desk. I draw a picture or something. You gonna remember me just by that art. There's a desk around there with Yoshima's art on it. It's decked out. There's a bunch of them
Yeah, see,
since I've been growing up.
that's why they started getting desks that was plastic. But those
Yeah,
wood,
yeah, yeah. You get some markers, man, and make it
yeah,
fancy. Yeah, we'll figure it out. If there's a will, there's a way. Yeah,
I
they
heard
do that
that.
black plat. They do that blue plastic, that dark blue plastic. Hard to write on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Okay, it's almost 2 hours, family. So I want to thank
You
everybody for coming, and
thank y'all.
is that I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. I know I did.
Me
I learned.
too, man. I hope y'all did, man. Because cameras in the classroom. I think. What is your uh 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 what you think about that? Yes or no? Cameras in the classroom, Baba Clyde.
I
What you
don't know.
think?
Like I said, I don't see nothing wrong with it
I say
because
yes. I say cameras in the classroom is a go.
I
Yes,
say yes.
absolutely. Yeah, I think
Because
that we need
because
that.
the thing is this is that I don't see why you would be upset about it.
No,
I think it would have a lot of discipline. I
if
think
it's
it's better
dirty,
than
yeah.
just like when they show the lady, the lady being beat up, and I think she was down. Was she in Texas or Florida? And she
Mm.
got beat up by this special ed kid, and they're trying to put
Oh
him in
yeah.
jail. Now, I do think that's going too far. When somebody has a psychological problem, I don't think really in a sense you should use that against them.
Right, because it's they have it documented on that special ed
Yeah,
kid on if through elementary through whenever they act
yeah,
out on if this kid is violent or whatever and how
yeah,
to maintain the kid, what's the procedures with they
yeah.
know all this. So whenever a kid like that acts out, they didn't do what they were supposed to do on their end as teachers to prepare themselves for this situation. If this dude is a biter, you don't put yourself in front of the dude mouth, and expect not for him not to bite you.
And what makes it even worse is
Wrong.
that special education law is what they're doing in that what they're doing in that state is illegal because special education law protects the child from being prosecuted. You
Mm.
see, but again, like I said, when you black, they just change all the laws. How you doing, Donnie Love? They just change all the
What's
laws,
up?
and they and because they change the laws, they allow people in a sense to be able to get away with criminal things, you know. But I think it wouldn't be bad in the classroom. I think
No,
that
I think
it
it
would
would
make
too.
it would make a big difference. It would
Mm-hmm.
make a whole lot of people stop acting silly, especially the
Yep.
kids. Maybe well, I'm glad they didn't have it in my economics class because that was one beautiful teacher.
You
She
would have
was,
seen that little lady doing whatever that little lady wanted to do. Yeah, yeah,
she's a
yeah, yeah.
she was a
Little
fine little lady.
fantasy, yeah.
That's right. You know, she's fine. Oh, oh, oh.
She's a
Anyway,
brick house. Oh, mighty, just letting it all hang out. I
yes, she
guess
was.
so.
She was, and she would, and she should have been ashamed of herself, teasing some two teenage boys.
No, I didn't have nothing like that. That's funny to have that, but no,
Yeah,
I didn't have that. My teachers was cool. They was down, respectable women, mothers. Just real cool down there. They let me do whatever I wanted to do, as long
well,
as I
see,
did the work.
a lot of people would feel that wasn't cool, letting you do what you want. You know.
Yeah, but I did all the work though. That's the thing. I
Yeah.
did all the work. So when I say that a lot of my I mean it was like I only had like 3 of them my last 3 years of high school because I had all my credits already. So I had like
Were they men
three
teachers or
electives.
women teachers?
Women. It was the women teachers. Yeah, the women teachers. Let me do everything. Yeah, I was
Yeah, yeah.
like.
See, family. Now we get see, family. Now we see why this young man was being treated special. Them ladies, in a sense,
I
they
didn't
gave
think
them
about that.
they gave them extra benefits.
I was getting extra benefits for real. Yeah, I was walking around everywhere, all through the halls. Y'all know who I am. Yeah, I walk through the halls, man. But yeah, y'all check out Dr. Winters on the Patreon.
Yeah,
Y'all
join my
check out his
Patreon. Help
books
me out.
for sure. Thank you, Karen, for the big help and the support on both of our Patreons. You've been,
Yeah,
100% helping out for sure. To everybody that's on the Patreons, I really appreciate the support. And that goes for Dr. Clyde and me as well. You
right.
supporting us really help us do what we need to do and continue to create. I'm talking family. We talking about creating. We talking about B1 creating. We ain't talking about that other stuff of creating. We talking about he's writing the B1 books and I'm creating the B1 content right behind each other. We right on the side of each other. We right in front of each other. We over here doing whatever we got to do to make it happen. But thank y'all so much for that support. Y'all like, subscribe on these YouTube channels. We got a Then and Now YouTube channel along
Go
with
ahead,
Dr. Clyde
subscribe,
Winters YouTube channel.
subscribe, and support. And now,
Subscribe.
right now, put a like on this video,
Yes,
and send it. Put a like on the video, send it to your friends so they can check
Right.
it out. Because I think that this is the discussion that we really needed. Because see,
Right.
all of us in a sense are involved in situations where our children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews are in these schools, and we need in a sense to think about what we're going to do. But you
Right.
guys have a great evening, and see you next week. Take care.
Peace.
Love you.
Yeah. Right now, it's time to wrap everything up, you dig? Yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Clyde Winters, Den and 9. Yeah, I really appreciate everybody, all y'all support. Y'all like, subscribe, and share this. You dig it? Yoshi, you've been invited to the Den and 9. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the Den and 9. Yeah, Dr. Clyde Winters in the Yoshi mind. Intro, outro to the Den and 9. We gon' see it, so have dinner now. Yeah, raise your head, why put them down? B1 on that Den and 9. FB8 on that Den and 9. FBB on that Den and 9. It's all about unity on that Den and 9. My indigenous folks on that Den and 9. All my Africans rise on that Den and 9. Rise up on that Den and 9. And don't forget to subscribe to Den and 9.